Hon'ble Sri Khannaji, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, General N.C. Vij, former Vice Chairman of the National Disaster Management Authority, who provided us leadership during the first 5 years of the existence of the National Disaster Management Authority. Sri Doval, General Sani, my distinguished colleague, members of the NDMA, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is a very appropriate subject to be discussing today. The date fixed for this is the day after what we experienced yesterday. The great earthquake that could have possibly triggered a tsunami, which could have been as devastating as the 2004 tsunami. But fortunately, due to the kind of earthquake that took place, a strike-slip kind of earthquake with a horizontal movement, which did not lead to a vertical displacement of water. Had it been a regular vertical kind of an earthquake, a lot of people were baffled. If you look at the photograph that was published and also images that were shown on the television yesterday of people in Banda Aceh, the fear that was seen on their faces, they probably thought 2004 was going to repeat. But I think God has been kind to us. And of course, in India, we have been extremely fortunate to have in place a state-of-the-art tsunami early warning system with ocean bottom pressure recorders in place in the Indian Ocean region, which gives us a definite advantage over the other well-known tsunami warning centers in the world, like the Pacific Tsunami Center, because we have information which can tell us, and we have the modeling capabilities of indicating the kind of tsunami that can occur, the kind of places, the travel time, and we are proud of what India has achieved immediately after the 2004 tsunami and the establishment of the Indian Ocean Tsunami Early Warning Center. I am also reminded of the fear on the faces of the people who ran out of buildings, coming down from upper floors, the multi-story building in Calcutta. I think that is a good wake-up call for all of us. Every disaster should be a wake-up call, no matter where it happens. Last year, when we had the triple disasters in Japan, an earthquake leading to a tsunami, leading to a nuclear emergency, it was a wake-up call not only for us in India, but for people all over the world. In the wake of that earthquake, when the Prime Minister, Hon'ble Prime Minister, who is also the Chairman of the Disaster Management Authority, reviewed India's preparedness, he wanted us to work for world-class preparedness. He asked me a question whether people of this country would go to sleep in peace, being convinced that nothing can go wrong, while we are well prepared and at times much better prepared than even countries like the United States to deal with disasters that have been occurring at regular intervals, for which there is some kind of a early warning possible. But I mentioned to the Honorable Prime Minister that it is the quick onset disasters like earthquakes which can be a great cause of concern for us in this country. He wanted us to strive for world-class preparedness. Where do we begin in India? The kind of building stocks that we have. We have the laws in place, but there is a lack of will at all levels for their effective implementation. I think a study that was done by Roger Wilhelm and another colleague of his, and I would like to quote from that. Is how which drew a link between corruption and deaths due to earthquakes. In their analysis, they found that 83% of deaths due to earthquakes from 1980 onwards occurred in countries which have very high levels of corruption. It is for us to see where India stands. They said earthquake-resistant construction depends on responsible governance, but its implementation can be undermined by the current or by poverty through the use of substandard materials and assembly methods or through the inappropriate siting of buildings. The solution is obvious but horribly difficult to bring about. The researchers are particularly gloomy that the prospects of existing shaky buildings, saying the problem is particularly difficult, if not economically insoluble. They also brought about a very important point in their study, that the current global construction industry is worth about $7.5 trillion. And the building construction industry is recognized as the most corrupt sector world over. And this is likely to double in the coming decade. So this is where we need to really focus. But in this country, do we have enough trained people who understand seismic engineering? Do we have trained architects, trained engineers? We are woefully short of the numbers. One of the things that the NDMA has been contemplating for some time is a mitigation project that would take care of essentially capacity building, focusing on capacity building. We've been working on this for the last couple of years. I'm very happy to inform you that the Planning Commission has given an in-principle approval for a pilot phase of this National Earthquake Risk Mitigation Project. This came very recently. It will be a 24 crore project which will have all the components of the major project. This will be on a pilot basis, expanded. The main project will flow out of this. All components except the retrofitting that we wanted to do selectively in different parts of the country are going to be a part of this pilot project. We are hopeful that the formalities will be completed in this quarter and then we'll be able to launch this by August or September this year. This will go a long way. Is it enough? Is a different issue. But we need to make a beginning. If you look back at countries like Italy, 40 years back, they were as bad or even worse than India. Similar kind of building types, similar problems, similar vulnerability. But today they have come a long way. And then India is striving to emerge as a global economic power. We cannot do with buildings which cannot stand earthquakes. We have seen deaths occur due to earthquakes. 600 kilometers away from the epicenter. This was seen during the Sikkim earthquake. The epicenter was Mangal. And 600 kilometers away in Patna and Darbhanga in Nalanda districts of Bihar, there were deaths reported because of collapse of buildings. Delhi, like many other major cities of the country, doesn't require an earthquake for buildings to collapse. We've seen this in the recent past. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor was deeply concerned about it, and he has convened several meetings. I had the good fortune of attending them. We thought we need to look at buildings that can collapse. But do we have people who are trained who can identify this? We offered to train engineers of the MCD on rapid visual assessment. We've been pushing it. Finally, we are able to, I can assure this gathering here that by the 24th of this month, the first batch of engineers will begin their training. And I hope that in the next few months, when these people are trained in rapid visual assessment, they can go around and look at identified buildings that are endangered, and then look at doing something about it. What do they do? How do we go about it? When I recall the faces of the people who ran down, as I mentioned earlier, the buildings in Calcutta, fear of their face, I think people have to be educated. We need to generate greater public awareness. Apart from the training and capacity building efforts that we are contemplating, another major challenge would be greater public awareness. General Reddy just mentioned about the big preparedness bill that was organized in Delhi. It went on for a period of more than 4 months. There were various activities undertaken. We had workshops at local levels, residents' welfare associations, in schools and colleges. A lot of campaign awareness and mock exercises were conducted. We had a workshop for the legislators of the Delhi, members of the Delhi Assembly. We had a workshop for the Honorable Judges of the Delhi High Court. And it culminated in that phase by a mega mock exercise on 15th of February, conducted at more than 400 locations in Delhi. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor himself participated in this, and that was an exemplary thing to show the way. There were instances where many officers in government offices were not prepared to come out. But the district officials insisted that unless they came out, because one of the things that was done during the conference was to turn off the power supply. And they insisted that unless everybody comes down, power supply will not be restored. So everybody had to come down, be a part of this exercise. More than 15,000 officers of Delhi government participated. More than 350 men from the Indian Army, 150 from the Indian Air Force, 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 150 went round as independent observers. A mock exercise of this nature, or even a smaller exercise, has two objectives. One is to create awareness among people about what they need to do during a disaster. But it doesn't end there. It will also set them thinking what they need to do in preparing for a disaster in the normal course. And when we deal with earthquakes, all of us know that it's not the earthquakes but the buildings that kill. So we need to make safer houses. It's going to be difficult to deal with buildings which are already there. How do we go about doing this? I'll come to it a little later. And the other objective of this mock exercise was to identify gaps. And when the media asked me how successful this was, I said, going by the experience of the gaps that were identified, the more number of gaps means a more successful exercise. Because that gives us an opportunity to do something to identify these gaps and fill these gaps. And in future, should there be an eventuality to be able to deal with this more effectively. Now coming back to retrofitting, many people keep asking, what do we do? How do we retrofit? What kind of buildings are to be retrofitted? We realize that we don't have a retrofitting policy and guidelines. So NDMA has started the efforts to come out with a retrofitting policy and guidelines. And we have a team of eminent experts, some of them are here today, who are contributing to this. And I'm sure that we go a long way in mitigating our efforts. We've also taken up other studies. There are deliberations still going on. We have taken up the building typology study. We are also looking at generation of scenarios, which has to be done in a very scientific manner. We are planning a national level, a multi-state preparedness exercise, looking at an earthquake scenario with an epicenter at Hon'ble with a magnitude of about 8. Very scientifically, the scenario would be generated. We'll also look at the Shillong earthquake of 1897. We'll also try to generate a scenario which would be relevant today. Look at what kind of destruction it can cause and then what needs to be in place to deal with the situation should such a situation arise. We'll also try to recreate a scenario based on the experience in Kangra in 1905. So there is a lot that the NDMA is planning to do, and I'm sure that in the years to come, we'll all strive together to see that India becomes safer. It cannot be done overnight. It needs very sustained efforts by everybody who is involved. And key to everything, I feel, as a public representative with a long standing, that it is public awareness that can ultimately all the political will to crystallize and also the administrative will to crystallize. I am very grateful to General Vij for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts on this occasion, and I am sure that we can look forward to many more such occasions where eminent people can come together and exchange ideas, and this is the way that our better disaster preparedness and disaster management in this country can benefit from. Thank you very much.